Hey, I want to take 5 minutes to talk about automated AI code reviews and some work that I've done recently. So the challenge that we are seeing is that while it's true that AI is empowering really just anyone to create code commits into a large project, the truth is that in the end, the engineers are still responsible for the quality of the code. And in addition, these developers that are, in many cases working in isolation, they're working to different coding styles and standards. They are working in different IDEs and with different AI models. They are implementing different architecture, and all this can lead to an inconsistency across a variety of engineering trade-offs as we see them implemented into a project. And so with that in mind, normally a code review process by senior engineers should be the solution. But with so much code generation that is being facilitated by AI, there really just aren't enough engineering resources available. And so my proposed solution was to implement a project-focused automated AI code review system, really as the first line of defense. In this case, I wanted to integrate that directly with Unity Version Control's code review system, allowing it to run in parallel with our traditional senior engineer facilitated reviews. While this proof of concept that I'm working on uses Copilot and Unity Version Control, any solution like this would be available for really any AI model and any version control system. So with this in mind, I started by attempting to kind of identify common themes that show up when reviewing game development code. I turned that into a set of example tests I wanted to see if the AI-enabled code review would catch. Then I transformed that into a rules document that I could provide to the AI agent. And so for the implementation of this proof of concept, I started with a Windows 11 virtual machine running in Hyper-V. I installed Unity Hub, Unity Editor, Unity Version Control, and that includes the command line interface for Plastic CSM, the former name of Unity Version Control. I learned in that process that UVC CLI doesn't currently support making comments on code reviews, so I also had to ensure I could authenticate against the Plastic CSM REST server by establishing a personal access token. I installed VS Code as my IDE, and I finally installed Node.js, which allowed me to use NPM, which I needed to install Github Copilot CLI. Having VS Code installed allowed me to easily authenticate my Studio Microsoft account to access Copilot CLI, and then having Unity Hub installed allowed me to more easily authenticate my Studio Unity account when I was trying to access UVC CLI. Although neither of those are required to make this work. It's also worth noting that Copilot CLI could easily be replaced with Claude Code CLI or Gemini CLI or any AI CLI, and that similarly the UVC could be replaced with Perforce Stream or GitHub, both of which are known to easily integrate into external systems. The script which watches for code review requests was written in PowerShell, and it included a separate JSON configuration file to keep those project and account settings separate from the running script. And that script is something that I'm happy to provide if anybody is interested. So after a couple days of sort of fine-tuning the scripts, I was ready to test end-to-end the system. So on my PC, using a combination of code written by myself, Claude Sonnet, and integration with the Unity MCP bridge, I created a series of commits to test the results of the automated code review. All the while, the AI agent was running on the virtual machine. The initial tests were actually better than I expected, and I want to call out 4 examples. Okay, so for this first one, the agent correctly identified a missing null check for the keyboard input. So that was great. Next, the AI agent noticed that both the in this case, the serialized speed was missing a tooltip and suggested appropriate text to be used for that tooltip. The agent identified that despite being serialized, the value is being overwritten in the start function. And finally, the agent identified that although I had named the function increased speed and provided similar code comments, the math that I implemented was actually cutting the speed in half. So I called that out as I wasn't increasing speed, I was actually halving the speed. Overall, the results were promising, and here are my next steps suggestions. So I would roll this out in a real project to really get a better analysis of, is this effective with real developers and their code? This includes like sort of a first step of making it production ready with a set of service accounts for both Unity and the AI models, not using my own accounts and not running as a virtual machine on my laptop. This would also involve likely iterating on the rules files. Again, this was my first pass really at those. Test against other models. I could imagine a scenario in which, say, Claude is better at reviewing performance, whereas Gemini is better at creating clear code, code clarity reviews. So there's no reason you couldn't have parallel agents running, each focused on reviewing what they're best at. Also, in my iteration, I had sort of this historical context. The AI was instructed not to call out repeat issues. I didn't want to create a lot of noise, but maybe you do want to flag repeated issues. So I think there's an opportunity to sort of fine-tune the way your sort of historical context is used and the way the AI reacts to things that it's said in the past. Also, better integration with the code review process. In this case, I was having sort of just one comment from the AI, and there was really no ability to say have a developer mark an issue as ignore and don't tell me again. And that would be something that I would want in any final sort of production solution. And then finally, after that was implemented, get some feedback, run some surveys with the devs. Is this tool useful? Is it annoying? How are people actually reacting to the value this brings to the project development as a whole? And sort of finally, I kind of want to make this mention of, I hope we all proceed with care. There's a reason we do code reviews more than just the code reviews. They don't. Having a human involved allows a few things. For example, senior engineers build relationships with junior engineers through these code reviews. It sparks conversations about broader engineering topics. It provides senior engineers with insight into the code that's actually being submitted. And it gives insight on individual developer capabilities, opportunities for maybe additional training or increased responsibilities for that engineer. So with that in mind, if you have any questions or follow-up that you want to reach out, please do. I can also provide you the scripts that I created and any tips or tricks to get this working for your own. Thanks.